Good morning to everyone. Thanks for joining today. And this topic is a very interesting topic: how to control the restless mind. So I will straight away go through the walk you through this important science, basically about the mind, our life itself. So we will understand everything very clearly. So let me share my screen. So you are able to see my screen slideshow mode?
Yeah, I'm able to see.
Okay, good. So our topic today is how to control the restless mind. So this is a very interesting topic.
Sorry, it's not in the slideshow mode. I think you have to put it in there.
It's not showing in the slideshow mode?
No, it's just showing those slides.
No, I thought I put it in slideshow. It's not showing it?
No.
So, 1 second. So how is it showing?
Is it just showing like slide 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left side and the...
Oh, like that only? Okay, let me, then I think I should put my entire screen sharing. So let me do it. In the screen sharing option, I should...
Yeah, I think you should stop the screen sharing and then...
I will put my complete screen share. 1 second, let me go to slideshow. Now you...
Yes. Yeah, now it's okay. You can start.
Okay, good. So yeah, this topic is a very interesting topic, like about how to control the restless mind. Timir, I hope you already put it on recording, correct?
Yes, I put it on recording.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. So first thing, elements of nature. So in this material, we call this as material world. This earth is a part of material world. So the nature, in general, we call everything as nature. So, but what are the real elements of material nature? So here we'll spend some time on this slide, in this slide. So 5 basic elements are earth, water, fire, air, and space. So it is said that in Bhagavad Gita, today I will be using some Sanskrit verses, basically Sanskrit slokas from Bhagavad Gita, because everything on this subject, what we are going to discuss, it's everything is coming from just only one book that is called as Bhagavad Gita. So what is generally known as bhutas, means 5 basic elements, Pancha Bhutas. It's also known as Mahabhuta. So earth, water, fire, air, space. So these are 5 basic elements. So this material nature, they are part of this material world, material nature. That's what we study. You know, when we go to college, when we go to school, when we study like all the basic science subjects like physics, chemistry, everything, what we study, biology, we study about only these 5 basic elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. So our knowledge is only restricted to this much only, this basic element. So this is just a small part of this material nature. So what, of course, when we look into the periodic table and atomic level, molecular level, so everything is earth, water, fire, air, space, everything. So even if you go to the space, so everywhere you will see so much of all these things, water, ice, and gas, everything we will see. So that's why we are looking for the planets in which water is there, so that we will find like living entities there, so life there. So like that, this material world is only made up of these 5 basic elements. So that's what our understanding is. But there are more than that. So there is mind, intelligence, and false ego. So that is the mind. Mind is the one thing which we don't know a lot. To a certain extent, we know how it interacts with medications, what we take, but still about controlling the mind, how to control the mind, what is the what is mind, first of all, we don't know a lot. So that we are going to, our topic itself is about mind, how to control the restless mind. And we are going to approach as a science, what is mind. So that's what we are going to approach. We are going to understand. So then intelligence. So that also, we still think that intelligence means IQ level and things like that. But what is the real intelligence? So that we are going to discuss also at length today about intelligence. So intelligent means it is not that somebody who is able to solve all problems quickly and things like that is an intelligent person. That is not really known as intelligence. The real intelligence is actually to know about ourselves, to know about, to have the answer for the question, who am I? And to understand the goal of our life. So that way, if we are able to lead a very meaningful life, so that means we are having intelligence and we are using intelligence. Otherwise, just by if you are doing some math very well, some calculations very well, so we cannot say that that person is intelligent. So the real intelligence is not there. So that we are going to study today. So we are going to understand about that. And then false ego. It is a very important nature, one of the part of the material nature. We need to understand that what is it called as ahankara. So ahankara, the reason it is called false ego, because it is not true ego. It is not that we are doing it, and really everything is done by something else, but we falsely claim that we are doing it. So that's why it is known as false ego, because we are falsely claimed. All the by elements of material nature, there is the three modes of nature. Everything, all the activities, whatever we do every day, every moment, each and every activity, everything is carried out, everything is performed, done only by these three modes of material nature. But we think that we are doing it. So that's what is known as false ego. So in one sloka, one Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that Prakrite kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvasana. So all the activities are carried out by Prakriti, by the gunas, by the three modes of material nature. So what are those three modes of material nature? Sattva, Raja and Tamo, gunas. That is known as gunas. So the mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance. So these are the three modes of material nature. So because all the activities are carried out only by these modes of nature. Nahi kaschiti kshanamapi jatutistati akarmakrit karyategi avassaga karma sarvaga prakriti jay gunai. So all these activities are done by the gunas, which are born from the prakriti. So that's why prakriti means it's a nature. So it is what kind of prakriti? It is a material nature. It's a binna prakriti. It is a separated nature. So that's why Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Bhumir apo analo vayo kam mano buddhi evacha ahankaram itiyam me binna prakriti rastada. So these are my 8 separated material nature. So then of course the last one is the time. So these are all elements of material nature. So in this material world, so these are all part of the material nature, but we know only about the first 5 subjects, as first 5 nature, like earth, water, fire, air and space. We know a lot about them. We know how to exploit that nature. We know in the atomic level, in the electronic level, we understand a lot of things, and we are scientifically we have progressed so much with that knowledge. But unfortunately, we don't know a lot. We don't know much about mind, intelligence, and this false ego, this ahankara, and then the 3 modes of material nature, how they are controlling us. All such things we don't know. So that is a really, we are very unfortunate. We don't have we are not taught these subjects in any schools. That is the main thing, because it's a perfect science. We need to understand. But there is no need to worry. Everything is given in just only one book known as Bhagavad Gita, as I said in the beginning. So there, everything is given very clearly. That's what we are going to go through today. So this slide, we are going to spend some time. It's going to very clearly show the relationship between body, mind, senses, intelligence, and soul. So within our body, that means within our body. So that means within my body and your body. So that my and you, there is I and me, you, everything that relate to soul. We are not the body. I am not this body. I am the soul. You are not the body. You are the soul. So that part we in Bhagavad Gita very, very clearly, very scientifically, it is explained very nicely. So that is a very important science we need to understand. So maybe in future we can have another lecture on the name like who am I? So to understand very well about the soul. But here we need to understand that we are the soul, and then within our body we have mind, we have intelligence, and we have senses, and the relationship between all of these things we should know. It's very important. So that is a real science. The real science is knowing about the relationship between body, senses, mind, intelligence, and soul. So here, what is that relationship? So this is a steps shown here. In the bottommost step is the body. So the body, and the next one is the senses. Senses are superior to body. So today we are going to understand how senses are superior to body. First of all, we will understand what senses mean, and then how they are superior to body. Senses are superior to body. So then, next to senses is what? Mind. That is our topic today. Mind is higher than the senses. Mind is above the senses. So, mind. Mind is higher than the senses. And then comes intelligence. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. So, intelligence. And then soul. Soul is even higher than the intelligence. So, these are the relationship between body, senses, mind, intelligence, and soul. It is just in one shloka very clearly Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in the 3rd chapter, Indriyani parani ahugu, Indriyebhya param manaha, Manasastu para buddhi, Yo buddhe parattastu saha. Indriyani parani ahugu means senses are superior to dull matter. Basically, senses are superior to body. Indriyani parani ahugu. Indriyebhya param manaha. Mind is higher than the senses. Indriyebhya param manaha. Manasastu para buddhi. Buddhi, the intelligence is higher than the mind. So manasastu para buddhi. Yo buddhe paratastu saha. So the soul is higher than the intelligence. So this is a very important science we need to know. We need to know about ourselves. We need to know that we are not the body, we are the soul, and we are having the mind and the senses and intelligence and all such things. Now, the important point we are going to study and understand in this today's presentation is that this mind can be controlled by senses or the soul. So if the mind is controlled by the senses, then it will become the enemy of the soul. If the mind is controlled by the soul, then we will be able to control our senses with the help of the mind. Then it will become our friend. So for this, we need intelligence. The soul needs intelligence to control the mind. So that's what we are going to study today at length. Now, in the next coming slides, we are going to see at length how each one is superior than the other things. How senses are superior to body, how mind is higher than the senses, and how intelligence is higher than the mind. All such things we will discuss now. We will understand. So when it comes to senses, there are 10 senses are there. In our body, we have 10 senses. And all these 10 senses are made up of matter, made up of material, basically earth, water, fire, air, and space, whatever we studied. So everything is made up of all the elements what we see in the periodic table. So our senses are made up of that. So 10 senses. What are those 10 senses? So there are 5 knowledge acquiring senses. So the knowledge acquiring senses means in our body we have these senses with which we are gaining the knowledge. For example, today I am presenting and you are listening to this. So I am able to present because I'm able to see. I'm able to see the slides and able to go through it. And you are also able to get this knowledge because you are able to see the slides and you are able to hear what I am talking. So all this way, our senses are working now. So with these senses, with this knowledge acquiring senses, we are getting the knowledge. We are knowledge. So these are the knowledge acquiring senses. That is known as jnanendriyas. Eyes, seeing, and ears, the sense of hearing, and nose, the sense of smelling, and the tongue, the sense of tasting, and then skin, touch sense. So these are acquiring senses. We know something is cold or hot because with our experience by touching it, we know it. So we are gaining that knowledge. We are getting that knowledge. So similarly with our tongue, we know something is sweet or bitter or what we like or what we don't like. All those things based upon our the knowledge acquiring senses, we are gaining the knowledge. So these are known as jnanendriyas. then the 5 working senses, they are known as karmendriyas. Karmendriyas are hands, legs, voice, anus, and genital. These are the 5 working senses, 5 karmendriyas. So once we gain the knowledge, so then we need to apply that knowledge. We need to use the knowledge. For example, we go and study and gain the knowledge in the classroom. And then when you go to job, when you are using that knowledge, we need to use it. So for using the knowledge, so we need all the working senses to walk, to do. We need to use our hands and legs to do any work. If our hands and legs are not working, we cannot do anything. So that way, these are our working senses with which we will do the karma, we will do the activity with the working senses. So with the knowledge acquiring senses, we will gain the knowledge, and with the working senses, we will use that knowledge, we will apply that knowledge. So, and genital, everything we can control. So that's why these are known as the working senses. So now, how these senses are higher than the superior dull matter? The senses are definitely superior to the dull matter, these senses, because a person who is in coma, all his body may be perfectly working. All the organs in the body may be perfect, working very nicely, very perfectly, no problem. Everything, blood pressure, blood sugar, everything under control. But no senses are working. The person is senseless. So when senses are not working, you are not able to interact with this world. We are not able to gain anything. We are not able to communicate anything. We are not able to interact anything with this world. So we are not able to use, we are not able to apply, we are not able to walk or sit, or we cannot do anything. We are simply dead, even though we live, even though our body is living, but simply we are like a dead person. There is no use of this life if our senses are not working. So that's why senses are superior to dull matter. Senses are very important. We need to understand about the knowledge about the senses. So it is very important for us to, we should be able to. So how we can control the senses? So that is the next thing. Next thing is the mind is senses. So suppose our body is working very well and our senses are also working very well. Our mind is not working. That means if we are mentally ill, if we are mental basically, so that means we cannot use our sense in the right way. We cannot use our body in the right way. So that way, with mind is higher than the senses. All the 10 senses may work very well. But if the mind is not working, even if one becomes a mental patient, so then the senses are useless. You can see, you can hear, you can smell, you can touch, you can do everything. Our legs and hands, everything will move. But if mind is not working, if mind is in trouble, if you are a mental, so then our senses are useless. So that's why mind is higher than the senses. So now we know that senses are above the body, higher than the body, and mind is higher than the senses. Now, another next thing here in this slide, we are going to look at the nature of mind. So these are all the properties, nature of mind. So with the mind we think, with the mind only the desires are coming into our mind. So the Krishna is saying that Sarvan Partha Manogatan, Prajahati Yada Kaman, Sarvan Partha Manogatan. So the desires are produced in our mind. So that's what Sarvan Partha Manogatan. So mind thinks. So mind is the processor. Mind processes the memory put in our brain basically. So mind, we will uses the data stored in the brain memory. So that's what mind is above the senses. So now this mind can either be controlled by the senses or the soul. That is the main thing. So the mind, we have mind, but then mind can be controlled. It can be controlled by the senses or it can be controlled by the soul. So if it can be controlled by the senses, means when we see something, immediately mind thinks about that sense objects. So sense objects are known as gochara. That is the sense objects. Visayan means sense objects. So if we see something, if we see some sense object, if mind thinks about it, if mind focuses on it, all the problem starts. So that way, the mind at that time, mind is controlled by the senses. But if we see something, if mind is not thinking about that, so that means we are able to control the mind. We are not letting the mind to go after the sense objects. So that's why it's very, very important. So it can be either controlled by the senses or the soul. When controlled by the soul, mind is the best friend. Our mind will become our best friend if we are able to control our mind. But if senses control the mind, When controlled by the senses, it is the worst enemy. The mind will become the worst enemy. So this is a very important subject. We need to understand, and it's very, very important for every one of us. Very, very important. We should be able to control our mind to make our mind as the best friend. Otherwise, mind will remain the worst enemy, because mind will be controlled by the senses. So peaceful mind brings happiness, and disturbed mind brings distress. That's what the happiness and distress is defined simply by the status of the mind. So that way, it's very important for us to get this knowledge, and very important for us to understand about how to control the restless mind. Then if you are able to control our mind with this knowledge, then we will be able to make our mind as our best friend. Otherwise, our mind will remain the worst enemy. So this slide just shows that peaceful mind and restless mind. So peaceful mind is a happy mind. So happiness comes. So the source of happiness is just there in the mind. So if mind is controlled, we are very happy. If the mind is not controlled, then we are disturbed. So we cannot achieve happiness. So happiness is the one thing. A peace of mind is the one thing which we cannot buy from anywhere, which we cannot get from medications. The peace of mind. So we cannot order it in online, or we cannot go to any store and buy the peace of mind. So the peace of mind has to come within us. So it has to come from within us, the peace of mind. So that's why this entire Bhagavad Gita and the knowledge, it teaches us about how to achieve that peace of mind, how to make our mind very happy. So that's what is a very important science. This is a very, very important science. And our topic today is how to control the restless mind, how to keep our mind very peaceful. So that's what is our topic today. So here, mind is the source of happiness and distress. So this graph just shows just a pictorial view, just to understand what happens. So if the peace of mind increases, the happiness increases. If the peace of mind decreases, the distress increases, basically. So that's what. So that means, otherwise, if in other words, if the peace of mind increases, distress decreases and happiness increases. So it's simply our happiness depends upon only our mindset, our peace of mind. So that is the one thing which we need to achieve in our life, nothing else. We can gain a lot of things. We can become very expert in several things, and we can get a lot of awards, rewards and everything. But if our mind is not peaceful, then it's useless, because we cannot be happy. So if we cannot be happy in this world if our mind is not peaceful, and that peace of mind cannot be bought by any amount of money. It cannot be bought by any amount of power or thing. We cannot negotiate. Possible. We cannot bribe. We cannot do anything to get the peace. The peace of mind has to come from within us. So that's why it's very important for us to get this science and understand about how to achieve that peace of mind. For that, we need to understand the properties of mind. Properties of mind, it is chanchalam. Arjuna is telling Krishna, when Krishna explains to Arjuna in the 6th chapter, in 32 slokas, about how to control the mind. So Krishna gives the detailed explanations, instructions, step-by-step procedure, step-by-step instructions Krishna gives to Arjuna about how to control the mind. So after listening to the entire instructions, then Arjuna simply tells Krishna that etasyaham na pasyami. I don't see that I can control the mind. I don't think that I can control the mind. That's what Arjuna tells Krishna. The reason he tells like that, because he tells Krishna that chanchalam ki mana Krishna pramadi balavadridam tasyagam nigraham manye vayoriva suduskam. Because the mind is restless, chanchalam. Chanchalam ki mana Krishna. Mana, mind. Oh Krishna, the mind is restless. Chanchalam ki mana Krishna. And it is pramadi. Pramadi means it's turbulent. Mind is turbulent, it's agitating. Pramadi. And balavad, it's very strong. And dhritam, it is obstinate and it is determined. So it's very difficult to control the mind. I can even control the wind. I can even control the hurricane. So vayoriva suduskram, it is much, much difficult than controlling the hurricane. That's what Arjuna told Krishna. And Krishna also agreed. It is very difficult. It is no doubt. We are going to study about that also today. So now we understand that the mind is very, very important. So the properties of mind we know, and mind is above the senses. So it's very important for us to control the mind, because without controlling the mind, then mind will be our enemy. Because Krishna says in one sloka in Bhagavad Gita in the 6th chapter, 5th sloka, Uddaret atmanatmanam natmanam avasadaye. Atmaivage atmano bandhuga atmaiva ripuratma. So one should elevate oneself with the help of the mind. Uddaret atmana atmanam. Natmanam avasadaye. One should not downgrade himself. One should not degrade himself. One should elevate oneself with the help of the mind. So uddaret atmana atmanam. Because for the mind, for the soul, the mind is friend as well as enemy. If we control the mind, mind is friend. If we don't control the mind, mind is enemy. Bandhuratma atmanastasya. Atmanajitaga. Anatmanastu satrutve vartetatmaiva satruvat. Bandhu, satru. Bandhu means friend, satru means enemy. So if a person controls the mind, then mind is the friend. If you don't control the mind, then mind is the enemy. So that is the science we understand from Bhagavad Gita very well. So now intelligence. Intelligence guides the mind. We need to have the intelligence. So that's what I mentioned earlier, that intelligence means it's not that we are studying so great and we are doing our homework very well, or solving the problems, getting good grades. That doesn't mean intelligence. So the intelligence means here we should have the intelligence to guide our mind to do the right thing. So that is what is called intelligence. So intelligence tells what is right and what is wrong to the mind. So the mind has to simply listen to the intelligence. So, but the mind should listen to the intelligence and act. If it is listening, it's good for us. Body, senses, and mind are useless without intelligence. If we don't have intelligence, if we are not able to use intelligence, then even though if our body is working good, our senses are working great, and our mind is working good, everything, but if we don't have intelligence, then the mind will follow the senses. Mind will follow the senses and it will follow through the sense objects. So we will try to enjoy in this material world, but really at the end we are going to suffer. There is no enjoyment in this material world. Whatever the so-called material sense enjoyment, it's flickering. It is the source of our distress. Egi samsparsa jabhoga dukkha yoneya yevati. Dukkha yoneya. Dukkha yoneya means it's the source of the distress. So whatever this material sense enjoyment we are trying to enjoy in this experience in this material world, they are the source of our distress, and they have got both beginning and end. Both beginning and end. So adi antavantaga kaunte. Adi and anta, beginning and end. Natesu ramate budaka. Budaka means intelligent. A person who is intelligent person does not participate in this cheap material sense enjoyment. Natesu ramate budaka. So that's why, if we have intelligence, then we will not do like that. So when we will lose intelligence, we will lose intelligence when the mind, if we don't have intelligence, if we focus on the sense objects, if we think about the sense objects, then we are going to lose intelligence. Dhyayato visayan pumsaga sangaste supajayate sangat sanjayate kamaga kamat krodho abhijayate krodhat pavati sammohaga sammohat smriti vibhramaga smriti bhramshat buddhinaso buddhinasat pranasyati. So buddhinaso means we will lose the intelligence. So when we will lose the intelligence, while contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. From such attachment, lust develops. From lust, anger arises. From anger, delusion arises. From delusion, memory is bewildered. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. So this is the chain reaction. So that's what happens if the mind focuses on the material sense objects. So ignorance is dangerous, knowledge is blissful. So however, intelligence is needed to use the knowledge. That's why we need to have intelligence. So how we are going to gain intelligence? So that's a very important question. And we study Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is saying that Tesam satata yuktanam bhaktayasvam paripasade echapi aksharam. No, not the one. 10th chapter, 10th sloka. Tesam satata yuktanam. Then Krishna is saying that those who bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam enamam upayantati. So bhajatam priti purvakam. So those who love me, those who develop love towards me and worship me with faith, so I will give them the intelligence by which they can come to me. That's what Krishna is saying there. So now soul. So until now we have understood that how senses are above body, mind is above the senses, and intelligence is above the mind. Now we are going to understand the soul. So the Atma, soul is even higher than the intelligence. So it's very important because the soul should control the mind with the help of intelligence. Otherwise, mind will control the soul. So that is a very important thing we need to know. So that's why Krishna is saying that you should conquer the mind. So jitatmanaga prasantasya paramatma samahitaka. So if we control the mind, then jitatmanaga means controlling the mind. Then we will be able to, our mind will become peaceful. Jitatmanaga prasantasya. So that's why soul should control the mind with the help of intelligence. Otherwise, mind will control the soul. Once the mind is controlled, then soul will be able to control the senses. So that's why in order to control our senses, first we need to control our mind. If you don't control our mind, then we cannot control our senses. So if you don't control our mind, then senses will control the mind. So the mind will always be controlled either by the soul or by the senses. So we need to be very cautious, and we should control the mind and make it our best friend so that we can control the senses. So mind is the source of happiness and distress, but happiness and distress are experienced by the soul. So mind, our happiness or distress, it comes from the status of our mind. If our mind is peaceful, we are happy, as I said earlier. If our mind is not peaceful, if our mind is disturbed, then we are not happy. So it simply comes from the status of our mind. But the happiness or distress is experienced by the soul. So we are experiencing. So that's why we need to make our mind as our best friend so that it is peaceful all the time, so that it will become our friend, so that we will be able to live a happy life. So that's why today the topic of presentation today is how to control the restless mind. So mind is the source of happiness and distress. It is both. So it's better to control the mind to be happy all the time. Otherwise, we will suffer when the mind brings distress. This one slide explains all these previous slides which I have explained. Just one slide as a summary, it explains everything very clearly. So here, the soul, Atmanam Ratinam Viddhi. Atmanam Ratinam Viddhi. That means the Atma, the soul is the passenger. Ratinam. Ratinam means one who is traveling, who is seated in the chariot. So that's what the passenger. So that is the soul. Atmanam Ratinam Viddhi. Sariram Ratam Evacha. So Sariram Ratam. So Ratam is the chariot. The chariot is our body. So our body is the chariot. So the soul who is traveling inside this body is the passenger. So that is the soul. The passenger is the soul. Then Buddhim tu with the Sarati. So Buddhi, intelligence is Sarati. Sarati means is the driver of the chariot, who drives the chariot. So there is the Sarati is Buddhi, intelligence. So intelligence drives the chariot. Then Managa Pragraham Evacha. Mind is the driving instrument. Managa Pragraham Evacha. Mind is the driving instrument. Then Indriyani Hayan Ahugu. Indriyani, the senses are horses. The horses are the senses. So this is a very nice relationship between the body, mind, senses, intelligence, and soul. So now, with the help of the intelligence should control the senses using the mind. So that's what all this knowledge, which all these slides in the past, I was explaining everything is very clearly given in this one particular picture itself. So this is from Kathopanishad. So the intelligence should control the senses through the mind. So if there is no intelligence, if there is no driver, so then what happens to us? So if the passenger is sitting on the chariot, but there is no intelligence, we lose the intelligence. So then is it possible for us to control the mind? No. Then what will happen to the mind? The mind will be controlled by the senses. So then it's a problem for us. We cannot reach our destination. So that's why it's very important for us to gain intelligence, and using that intelligence, we should control the senses with the help of the mind. So then we will be able to reach our destination. So that way it's a very important science, whatever until now we discussed. Now I'm going to go through certain slokas in Bhagavad Gita. So that's going to give us a very clear picture of all these things, whatever I discussed until now. So in one sloka in the second chapter, there is sloka number 60, Krishna is saying that, Yatatohi api kaunteya purusasya vipaschitaga indriyani pramatini karanti prashamam. So Yatatohi api kaunteya purusasya vipaschitaga. Even a learned person who is endeavoring to control them, even a person who has the knowledge about how to control the mind and who is putting efforts to control the mind. So that's why Yatatohi api kaunteya purusasya vipaschitaga indriyani pramatini haranti prasabam managa. The senses are so strong and impetuous that they forcibly carry away the mind. So the senses are very, very strong. The horses, in our example analogy, the horses, the 5 horses, they are very, very strong. They forcibly carry away the mind. So that way it's very, very difficult for us to control the mind. It is not that easy to control the mind, but it is very important for us to control the mind. That's what we need to know. So that's why this is such a very scientific sloka. Krishna is saying that how senses are very strong. And even in another sloka, in the sloka number 67 in the second chapter, in the verse number 67, in the second chapter, Krishna is very clearly saying that Charatam, Indriyanam ki Charatam, Yanmanonu Vidiyade, Tadasya Harati Prajnam, Vayurnavam Ivambas. So Charata means roaming. Indriyanam ki Charata means roaming senses. So Indriyanam ki Charatam, Yanmanonu Vidiyade. So if the mind focuses on, mind is carried away by the roaming senses, mind focuses on the roaming senses. Even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses, they carry away a person's intelligence. Prajahat. So Indriyanam ki Charatam Yanmanonu Vidiyade Tadasya Harati Prajnam. So it will also carry away the intelligence. Just like a boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind. Vayur Navam Ivambasam. Vayu is the wind, and Navam is the boat, Ambasa is water. So the boat on the water is carried away by a strong wind. Similarly, even one of the roaming senses on which our mind focuses can carry away the intelligence. So that's what Krishna is teaching. It's very, very clear in the second chapter, sloka number 67. Then in the sloka number 58, there is one who is able to withdraw his senses, like a tortoise which is able to withdraw its senses. Kurmangani va sarvasaga. Kurmangani va sarvasaga. Yada samharate chayam kurma angani va sarvasaga. Indriyani indriyartebhya tasya prajna pratisthita. So kurma is the tortoise which is able to withdraw its limbs inside its shells when it encounters problems. So similarly, if we are able to withdraw our senses from the sense objects, so that's what Indriyani, Indriya Artebhya. Indriyani means the senses, Indriya Artha means sense objects. So if we are able to withdraw our senses from the sense objects, like a tortoise is able to withdraw its limbs within its shell, so then we will be able to gain intelligence. We'll be able to control our mind. We'll be able to gain intelligence. So the peace of mind, how to achieve the peace of mind? What is the technical process? What is the procedure to control our mind? How to get the peace of mind? As I mentioned earlier, peace of mind cannot be obtained by any other means. Peace of mind cannot be bought from any store, and it cannot be ordered online or anywhere. So peace of mind, there is only one way to get peace of mind, and how to get that peace of mind, how to achieve it. Here, a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Apuryamanam achala pradishtam. Apuryamanam means being filled with water. What is being filled with water? Samudram, the ocean. The ocean is filled with water. Apuryamanam achala pradishtam samudram apa pravisanti yadvat. Apa pravisanti means water is entering. Water is entering from different rivers, from different directions. Water is entering into the ocean from all directions. So, but still it is achala pradishtam. Still it's steady. It is not disturbed. Its level is not disturbed. That's what achala pradishtam. So apuryamanam achala pradishtam samudram apa pravisanti advat tadvat kamayam pravisanti sarve. Like rivers are entering into the ocean, the desires are entering into our mind. Kamayam pravisanti sarve. Kama, the desires are coming and then entering into our mind from all directions. Kamayam pravisanti sarve. Sa santim apnoti na kama kami. Only a person who is not disturbed by such desires can achieve peace of mind. That is the formula for peace of mind. The peace of mind can be achieved only by that way. So, in another sloka also Krishna is saying that Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumam sarati nisprigagam nirmamo nirahankaraga sasantim adhigachati. So these two slokas tells very clearly how to get peace of mind. In another place also there is one more sloka Krishna says how to get peace of mind. So in this sloka Vihaya kamanya sarva. So giving up all varieties of desires for sense gratification. Vihaya kamanya sarva. Pumam charati nisprigagam. So free from all sense of proprietorship. Nisprigagam. Nirmamo. Not claiming anything as ours. Nirmamo. Nirahankara. Free from ahankara. I was explaining in one slide about the ahankara, the false ego. So nirahankara, not having that false ego. So sasanti, he will attain the supreme peace of mind. Sasanti. So in another sloka I was telling them, in the 5th chapter, last sloka, Krishna is saying that Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheswaram sugurdam sarvabhutanam nyatva santim richati. Santim richati means attains the peace of mind. So anyone who understands that I am the enjoyer of all austerities and sacrifices, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheswaram. I am the supreme controller of all the planets. Sarvaloka Maheswaram, Surdam Sarvabhutanam. I am the well-wisher of all the living entities. Anyone who understands this, they will attain peace of mind. Yatvamam Santim Richati. So that way, to get the peace of mind, we need to understand that God is in control and we should be able to connect with God. Then only we can get peace of mind. So how to control the restless mind? That is our question today, our topic today. So he in the habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. That's what Krishna is saying. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So yukta means regulating. So regulating the yukta ahara. Ahara means eating. Yuktahara viharasya. Vihara means recreational. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu. Karmasu means our work. And yukta swapnavabodhasya. Swapna means sleeping. So one who is able to regulate all these things will be able to control the mind, all our distress will be minimized. So that's why in another sloka Krishna says that one should not eat too much, one should not eat too little, one should not sleep too much, one should not sleep less. Na ati asnatastu yogosti, na chaikantam anasnataga, na cha ati swapna silasya, jagrato naiva charjuna. So then only we can control the mind, then only we can get the peace of mind. That is the only way to control the restless mind. When Arjuna told Krishna, mind is very difficult, mind is turbulent, obstinate, very strong, it is very difficult to control the mind. At that time, Krishna agreed with Arjuna. What you said is right, but it is possible to control the mind with practice, suitable practice and with detachment. Krishna told them, Asamsayam Mahabaho Manodurnigraham Cham Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Grihyate. Abhyasena and Vairagyena cha Grihyate. Abhyasena means practice. By suitable practice and detachment, it is possible to control the mind. So, what is that practice? What practice we need to do? What we should do to control the mind? That practice is also Krishna is telling very clearly in the 6th chapter, sloka number 26. Yato yato nischalati manaschanchalam astiram tatastato niyamyaitat atmanyeva vasamnaya. From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. Yato yato nischalati manaschanchalam astiram. Mind is astiram, means not steady. It's chanchalam, it's restless. So due to its restless and unsteady nature, the mind goes here and there. So wherever it goes, tatastato niyamyaitan. From there you bring it back and bring it back under the control of the self. So that is called practice. So abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. That's what Krishna asamsayam mahabhavo manodurnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate means with constant practice and detachment, it is possible to control the mind, as we studied in the previous one. Now summary. So we understood about mind, senses, intelligence, soul, body and their relationship, and we understood very clearly that soul should control the mind, then mind will become our friend, all such things. So now, since senses are superior to dull matter, we know scientifically how it is, we know very well, and mind is higher than the senses, intelligence is still higher than the mind, and soul is even higher than the intelligence. So this is a knowledge we need to know. We need to know in our body we have all these things, and we should be able to control all of these things. Otherwise, we will be like in the chariot driving without intelligence, without mind under control. Only the horses take the control. Then we will be in trouble. We will be in problem. So intelligence should control the mind and senses. But if senses can take control of the mind, then intelligence is lost. If the senses are controlling the mind, then we will not have intelligence. So that's why mind is the source of happiness and distress. Peaceful mind is happy, restless mind is distressed. That we know very well. So mind can be our friend or enemy depending upon whether we control our mind or our mind controls us. So suitable practice with detachment is the only way to control the restless mind. So this Bhagavad Gita is the king of knowledge. Bhagavad Gita is the shining lamp of knowledge which destroys the darkness of ignorance. Krishna says in the 10th chapter 11th sloka, Tesam evanukampata aham ajnanajam tamaga nasayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. So jnana deepena, it is the lamp of knowledge. Nasayami, so I'll destroy the darkness of ignorance. Ajnanajam tamaga. Ajnanajam tamaga means darkness of ignorance. So with the shining lamp of knowledge, we will be able to destroy the darkness of ignorance. And Bhagavad Gita is the king of knowledge, Raja Vidya. And it is the most confidential knowledge, Raja Guhyam, and it is the purest knowledge, Pavitram, and it is everlasting knowledge, it is Avyayam, and knowledge which gives the direct perception of this self. and knowledge which is joyfully performed. Susukam kartam, pratyaksha vagamam dharmyam, susukam kartam. So Raja Vidya, Raja Gukyam, Pavitram, Idam, Uttamam, Pratyaksha vagamam dharmyam, susukam kartum avyayam. That's what is Bhagavad Gita. So this knowledge is very, very important for us to know. And I sincerely wish to thank Lord Sri Krishna to come to this well and give this knowledge. And Bhagavad Gita and Srila Prabhupada, he wrote the book Bhagavad Gita as it is, without which I can't even read and understand Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita as it is a very, very important book. So that's why I was able to deliver this presentation today on how to control the restless mind. So I'm just giving in this slide that I'm giving these classes on Bhagavad Gita every day. That is every Sunday morning and Tuesday to Saturday morning, Tamil, English and Tamil, all such things. So at the bottommost box, the Zoom link is there. You all know already. You are joined using the Zoom link, same Zoom link, same password. So during that time, whatever the time specified there, during that specified time, if you are able to join, so then you will be able to study this Bhagavad Gita fully. So that way you can get the complete knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita. It is going to help us. So once we have the full knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we'll be able to control the mind. We'll be able to achieve a lot of things. Even materially speaking, we can gain whatever we want, because Bhagavad Gita is so much powerful. With that knowledge, we'll get all the motivation, inspiration, everything in our life. Everything comes from this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that's why this is a great opportunity to take this knowledge very seriously and understand, so that we can bring peace and in the society. We can make the society very prosperous. So everything is possible with the help of Bhagavad Gita. So I will stop now and thank you for listening until this time. So we can open for any questions if we have. Thank you very much. So I will stop this sharing.
Thank you, Dr. Balakrishnan, for this wonderful lecture. And thank you to all the participants. So if you have any questions, please type Q, the letter Q in the chat box, or you can even raise your hands, and then based on that, I can unmute you. So please type Q in the chat window, or please raise your hand. Like there is an option to raise your hand.
I see a question. Okay. There was a question from Dr. Uma Maheshwari. You could open. Can you unmute her?
Oh, okay.
You see it?
Okay, yeah, I have. Okay, somehow it's not working. Let me unmute everyone and then.
You want me to take control and unmute?
Yes. Let me give the host control to you.
Okay.
Make host. Yeah, so I've made you the host now.
Sometimes I click it. Even for me also, it's not working. Sometimes it is. Can you unmute yourself? Can you? Is there a way to release everybody from mute?
Yeah. Mute? Okay, so I think you have to make me the host.
Yeah. Now I'm able to hear. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you are able to. Can you? Yeah. Again, you got unmute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Please tell me your question.
What are the components of the soul, and how are we able to understand our soul? Like intelligence, we will be knowing like how we can solve problem. From that, we will know about our intelligence. But how about the soul?
Yeah, that's a very good question about knowing the scientific aspects of the soul. So in Bhagavad Gita, like in the second chapter, sloka number 11 to sloka number 30, in 20 slokas, Krishna is explaining very, very clearly about the soul. So if you get a chance to study all these 20 verses, you will be able to really understand the scientifically about the soul. But I will tell you very quickly about that today. So one thing is that, materially speaking, in this, our body is made up of matter. Our body, we know that. So the body is made up of all biomolecules basically. So lipids, fat, and basically sugar, carbohydrates, and proteins, all such things we study, and we even blood check, we will do blood work, we will go through all those things. But the soul is not made up of matter. The soul is the spirit. And this body keeps on changing. This body is not same. This body keeps changing. All the time we are changing the body. Within this life itself, our body keeps changing. Every day with the food we eat, it will become a part of our body. The molecules in the food will become a part of our body. So, but something is not changing in our body. The body what we had at the time of birth and the body what we are having right now, they are totally different. It's completely different. The bodies are completely different. So what is not changing inside this body? There is the soul. The soul is not changing. So that way in one verse Krishna says that Deginosmin yatha dege kaumaram yavvanam jara. So we are changing the body. The soul is changing the body from the boyhood to youth, youth to old age. So that means we are changing the body in this life itself. If we see our friend maybe after 30 years, 25 years, 25, 30 years, we can't even recognize anyone if we see them. So that way the body is always, that means the body completely changed. So the body completely changed. We are seeing totally a different body. We see a totally different body if we see a person after many years. But still the name is the same name and still the person is the same person. So that means the soul is there. The soul is inside the body which didn't change at all. So materially speaking, scientifically speaking, in atomic level, in molecular level, everything inside the body has changed completely. Everything has changed. Not even a single atom is same there. So everything has changed. But what has not changed? The one which is not changed. So that is the soul. So that's why Krishna is saying in one sloka, Nasato vidyate bhavo, na abhavo vidyate sataka. The body is always changing. Asattaga vidyate na bhavo. That means the one which is not real has no permanent existence. So that is the body. Then na abhavo vidyate sataga. Sataga means the one which is permanent, one which is real, which is never changing. So that is the body. That is the soul. So that way we understand that we are not the body, we are the soul. And so it's very easy to understand at the time of death we will get another body. So in this life itself, during our life itself, we are changing different bodies. So it is very easy to understand at the time of death we can get another body. So there is nothing difficult to understand that. And another thing is that the soul is basically is not made up of matter. It cannot be cut into pieces by any weapon. It cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be dissolved by water. It cannot be dried by wind. So nainam chintanti sastrani, nainam dagati pavaka, nachainam kledayanti apo, nasosayati marutakam. So for the soul, this body is like a dress. For the body, we are wearing the dress. When the dress becomes old and useless, when it is not fitting anymore, when it becomes old, when it is useless, what we do, we simply throw away the dress and garments we'll throw away and we'll get a new one. And then we will wear the new dress. So similarly, for the soul, this body becomes old and useless and then it will throw away and get a new body. Vasamsi jigirnani yata vigaya navani girganati naro parani. So when the vasamsi, when the dress, when the garments, they become old, jirnani, how we give it up, how we throw it away and get the new dress. Vasamsi jirnani yata vigaya navani girganati naro parani. Tata, similarly, sarirani vigaya jirnani, this sarira, this body, when this body becomes old and useless, sarirani vigaya jirnani, anyani samyati navani degi. So we'll get a new body. So that's what we need to understand, that the one which is inside this body, which is not never changing, is the soul. But the soul is unfortunately stuck inside this body. So that is known as Janma Bandha. That is known as Karma Bandha, because we have our Swabhava. So that means the three modes of material nature I mentioned today during the presentation. So these three modes of material nature are controlling us, are forcing us to accept material bodies again and again in this material world. So that's why in one sloka Krishna says that Jatasyagi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma mrittasya. When a person is born, is due to die. So Jatasyagi dhruvo mrityu. Similarly, when a person dies, is due to born again. So that's why Jatasyagi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma mrittasya. So Dhruva means it is sure. So that way, if we study those 20 verses, you will understand very clearly that we are the soul. All the scientific knowledge about the soul, you will completely get it. So then over a period of time, when you study different verses in Bhagavad Gita, everything will make sense. So it has got only 18 chapters, 700 verses. But if we have the full knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then we will know all our questions are completely answered. So that's why in my case, I approach this Bhagavad Gita as a science, because I first got the opportunity to study this when I was doing my MTech 30 years ago in IIT Bombay in 1992. So I found that it is very much scientific. That's why when I was doing my PhD in IIT Madras, I continued studying this Bhagavad Gita. And from that time onwards, I was researching so much into this Bhagavad Gita, all these slokas about this mind, senses, intelligence, soul, and their relationship, everything. So everything makes very much perfect. And each and every chapter, every sloka, there is a continuous flow in it. Excellent questions asked by Arjuna, and Krishna answers all the questions very scientifically. So everything fit together. If you get the full knowledge, if you understand it completely, then everything will fit together very much. So then we will be able to realize very well that we are not the body, we are the soul. So, but we will also realize, we will also understand our real problems are birth, old age, disease, and death for the body. So Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, these are our real problems. We need to solve these problems. There is no point in solving all other temporary problems what we face in this life. Our real problem is birth. So we are forced to accept birth. We are forced to suffer in this material world. Our life, everything in this world, everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. It is asasvatam. It is anityam, and also it is miserable. So, these are our real problems which we need to solve. So for that, all these things are possible only if we realize, we understand that we are the soul. We are not the body. So that concept, that scientific understanding, everything comes if we go through this entire Bhagavad Gita, which is only 18 chapters and 700 slokas, verses, that's it. So in our life, we go through different schools, different education, we study so many chapters, books, and all such things. So considering that, it is just one small book with 18 chapters, 700 slokas. If you understand these verses very clearly, very well, then all the questions will be answered. So especially for your question about the soul, everything will become very clear. So yeah, does that answer to a certain extent your question?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. So, is it some kind of soul is some kind of a higher intelligence that brings with it some kind of karma, and while leaving the body, it takes with some kind of karma? Is it like that?
Exactly.
Some kind of a higher intelligence than the real intelligence that you spoke about?
They discuss. Soul is, in fact, it's not intelligence, it's above that. Soul is spirit. Soul is not made up of matter at all. Soul is a spirit. So when it leaves the body, it will carry the mind, senses. Senses are in our body. So mind, intelligence, and the three modes of the gunas, basically the ahankara. So that's what. So everything goes into the next body. They are also subtle body. Basically, it is known as subtle body. What we see is our gross body, which is beyond our senses. It is known as subtle body. That's why we see each and every individual who are born, they have different characteristics, different gunas, different modes of nature are controlling them. So all such things will be very well answered if you understand this concept that the soul carries our various conceptions of our life in from this body to another body. So that way the soul itself is not made up of matter. Soul it's above intelligence, and the soul is a spirit. So as long as we are in this material body, we will be forced to accept new bodies after bodies. So this is a cycle of repeated birth, old age, disease, and death continues. And once we free ourselves from the three modes of material nature, the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, that means we need to understand the science of the three modes of material nature. In fact, we can produce thousands of PhD thesis with this subject, the three modes of material nature. Bhagavad Gita discusses a lot about this modes of nature. There is one separate chapter, the 14th chapter, titled as three modes of material nature. Then from that time onwards, even 17, 18, lot of things are given very, very clearly in Bhagavad Gita. So if you understand how these modes of nature are controlling us, and if we are able to free ourselves from that control with the knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita, then we will be able to break that bondage to life birth, bondage to birth and bondage to karma. It is known as karma bandha and janma bandha. So the soul is bound. The soul is bound in this world due to that karma bandha and janma bandha. So once we are able to break that bondage, then that means we are getting the liberation. We will be liberated from this material world. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is teaching a lot about the spiritual world, where he is there. So there, if we go, we will never come back here. So there is a place, it is full of bliss and complete permanent existence. There is no material body there. So it's completely spirit. The soul is made up of spirit. It is not made up of matter. So that way, our goal should be to control our mind, to connect with God, control our mind, and free ourselves from the three modes of material nature. So then we will attain that liberation from this. That's what is known as karma bandha and janma bandha. So all these concepts are very, very clearly discussed in Bhagavad Gita. So once we realize, once we understand, the first important knowledge, the knowledge itself is to realize that we are struggling, we are suffering. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosanu darshanam. One who sees that this birth, old age, disease and death are the symptoms of our suffering. That much intelligence, that is called intelligence. The real intelligence is to know that, to understand that we are struggling and suffering in this material world, and this time is running out. This is a very, very special, human life is a very rare opportunity. Out of 8.4 million species of life, getting a human life, human body, and this kind of opportunity to understand about ourselves is really, really very rare and great opportunity. And once we use this completely, then we will be able to make a lot of progress. So spiritually speaking, whatever progress we make, we are not going to lose anything. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. In Bhagavad Gita, it says very clearly that whatever progress we make spiritually, we are not going to lose anything. Even if we take another birth, we are going to start from where we stop. But materially speaking, we are going to lose everything. We can be a billionaire in this life, and next life we can become a beggar also. So anything is possible, materially speaking. We cannot gain, we cannot keep all those things. But spiritual progress means controlling our mind, how much we are able to control our mind, how much we are able to free ourselves from the modes of nature. All those progress, whatever we make, it's going to stay with us, and we are going to continue. And then that's why aneka janma samsiddhaga tatoyati param gatim. So at the end of many, many births, so when we completely progress, when we are able to detach ourselves from this material world, that is the main thing. So with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, so that means it's very important for us we need to understand all these signs very well. So it is detaching means it is not that we are renouncing anything. So we will act. That's what Arjuna said, that he wants to become a beggar. He didn't want to fight, but Krishna asked Arjuna to fight. So that way we will be able to do everything without any attachment to the results. That means we will not be affected by the results. So then we will not be bound to our activities. Once we are not attached to the results, that means once we are not affected by the results, then we are not bound. So that is what is called karma bandha. The karma bandha means once we are connected, once we are attached to the results, we are affected, we are disturbed by the results, that means we are bound by the results. So that technique, that technology in Bhagavad Gita, it's very clearly taught. We need to gain that technique. We need to understand about how to not getting bothered or disturbed by anything in this material world. So that is the mindset, that is the maturity we need to improve. So this is this life, human life only, it is possible. So all these things can happen only with one thing, having this complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So if we have the complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we will be definitely able to make a lot of progress. So yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you very much. We will go through Bhagavad Gita literally and study the entire lot. And the presentation has been really excellent, sir. We came to know about the Jnanendriyas and the Karmendriyas and all that. So we are more inquisitive to learn Bhagavad Gita right now. So thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining and asking this excellent question. And I don't know if I have your contact. Maybe did you send your number to in the WhatsApp number? It's already
sure,
there. Otherwise,
I'll send my number. I don't know, but I will send my number, sir.
But yeah, if you can, maybe all of you, in fact, all of you who are right now connected in this, if you can, if you have already not shared your number, you can just type in the chat window. So then I can add, what I can do is that I can add all of your numbers in my WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp group, and in that group I can send you my lectures, videos. You can also join. So that way it will be very nice if you can share, or you have my number at least maybe I think I was sharing my number. If you can add my number and then you can send you can add me in your send a WhatsApp message. So then also it will be possible. Okay.
Yeah, I've joined in your number, sir. Thank you.
We already did that. Okay,
Yes.
very nice, very nice. So that way, let me just quickly. You are seeing, everyone are able to see this slide I'm sharing right now. So my number is 281-857-3699 +1 +1 281-857-3699. If you can send me a WhatsApp message, I will add. Otherwise, if you are already added to the group which is created by Timir Prabhu, then it is fine. Then if you are there in that, then I'm also in that group. Otherwise, you please send me a WhatsApp message in this number, so then we can keep in contact. Okay, so now next, anyone else has got any other question? If you don't have question, then I can go one by one also. It's up to you. So there is maybe I will release from mute, since you cannot release from mute. So now I'm released. I think you can also unmute yourself. So there is one number. Amaresh name it says. Are you able to hear me? I'm trying to release you.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe again you got muted. Can you really? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
I'm able to hear you now. Yes. So are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you
Yes,
have
sir.
any questions? Yeah. You understood everything clearly today? You have any questions?
Yes, sir. No questions.
Okay. Very
No
nice.
questions, sir.
Okay. So you have your number. You already shared your number in that group. You are already there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, that is good. So that is good. So that way we will keep you. I will send you more about all the videos. So how did you feel about the lecture today? Everything you understood today?
I gain more knowledge, sir.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. So this is a very important opportunity. So yeah, please join every day. So that way you will get the good knowledge. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And next I'm going Surendra Babu. Not able to release you. You can also try releasing yourself unmute, but I don't know this. Sometimes it helps me. So Timir Prabhu, I'm not able to. Okay, I think I released from mute Mr. Nagendran. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So you understood everything today in my presentation?
Yes, it was very lucid presentation.
Very nice.
I have a small request.
Yes, please.
Probably if you can reduce your speed by about 20%, it will be nice.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Thank you. Yeah, I will do that.
And every day, the classes that you have put 7:30 to 8:30 IST.
Yes.
You are going to start now, or you have already started? And if I come from tomorrow, I'll be joining in the middle.
Actually, one thing, that's a very good question you asked. We are in the middle, but you don't have to feel you are in the middle, because I have to, on Sunday, especially on Sunday, we are teaching from the second chapter only. Every Sunday I am teaching 4 slokas, but other days we are in the 7th chapter. But the important point here is that when I'm teaching this, because only one sloka every day when I teach, I'm normally going through connecting each, and because Bhagavad Gita itself is that one sloka is connected with several slokas. We have to study Bhagavad Gita in entirety. We cannot study Bhagavad Gita, we cannot quote one sloka and talk about that is Bhagavad Gita like that. Then we'll miss a lot of things. So you understand what I'm saying, correct?
Yeah.
So with my experience, because I'm doing this for last 25-30 years, because studying Bhagavad Gita and almost memorized all these slokas. So that way, even if you join in the middle, if you think you are not going to lose anything. So our goal is here to teach like every sloka as it is. So to understand, so that way, tomorrow when you join, I'm teaching the second chapter. So there is on Saturday, and the other days we will be in the seventh chapter. So like that it goes.
Okay. Then I have one more question.
Yes.
Is there any specific text or any specific vyakhyana or something that you follow? So that why I'm asking this is, if
Yes.
I also have a copy of that, the follow-up would be better. Because I follow a school of philosophy called Tattvavada. Acharya Madhva's commentary, right? And which is even Srila Prabhupada's is based on Dvaita. I'm basically a Dvaitist. If you can share the common texts or the common books that you follow, if I can buy a copy of that, then following that for the next class would be better. That means there will be no disconnect.
Yeah, I'm in the chat window. I'm putting that website name vedabase.io. So that website is basically, I follow only one book because I understand study Bhagavad Gita from Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. So he did, because literally speaking, I can't read Devanagari script. I can't somehow in my school education I never got an opportunity to read Sanskrit.
But your Sanskrit rendition is so fine.
Yes, that's what everything is. I should thank this one book, Bhagavad Gita, as it is, because in that book, each and every sloka transliteration is given.
Yeah.
So I understood all these slokas by reading those transliteration.
Oh, so, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So that, because I can't read the Devanagari script, so I can't read. But this translate. So that's why I'm telling about this. This book itself is such a very excellent book. So if you can read through that book, and here our goal is only going through the Bhagavad Gita slokas. I will not deviate anyway little bit away from Bhagavad Gita. Whatever during the entire class every day. Even today also you would have noticed that I didn't go out of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
So if that is my goal from the beginning. So I made this decision many years ago. That's really helping for me to understand the complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that way, slokas in Bhagavad Gita are very straightforward, very easy to understand. There are no need for any interpretation for these slokas. It's the language, the Sanskrit language used in Bhagavad Gita is very simple language.
Yes.
Even if you read other Upanishads or Puranas, the language is very tough. It's very difficult to understand. Even though it's written by Vyasadeva in Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. But after writing Mahabharata, he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, a lot of Puranas he compared. That Sanskrit is very tough, but this Bhagavad Gita is very simple, very easy.
Yeah, it is. I enjoyed your lecture today. One more reason is, right now I am in the process of learning Brahma Sutra Bhashya.
Yeah.
For that, the 556 aphorisms of Brahma Sutra have been converted into about 32 verses by Madhvacharya. It is called Brahma Sutra Anubhashya. So I am learning that from someone. So every day I learn 2 shlokas. And then whatever you were talking about, how it was possible for me to connect. That's the reason why I asked what text you follow. It is beautiful.
Because one thing I want to inform to everyone today is, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of everything.
Everything.
In Bhagavad Gita, one sloka, Krishna says that in the 7th chapter, 2nd sloka, Jnanam te agamsa vijnanam idam vakshyami asesataka.
Yeah.
Today I'm telling you, I'm explaining you completely both theoretical and practical knowledge. Jnanam te agamsa vijnanam idam vakshyami asesataka. Yajnatva neka bhuyo anyada jnatavyam avasisade. By knowing this, there is nothing else is there for you to know. That's what Krishna is saying.
Yeah.
So I'm taking that point very, as I told earlier, like for me, I'm sticking everything to Bhagavad Gita slokas. That's what everyone should do also, because
Yeah.
here everything is there. Everything is there. If you understand this Bhagavad Gita fully, we understand everything.
Everything. Yes.
All other scriptures, wherever you go, something study, everything is already a part of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Because Krishna is the supreme God. He claims in Bhagavad Gita that I am the Purushottama. So
Yeah.
he is giving all the knowledge what we need. In fact, in the second chapter itself, as far as Krishna is concerned, he finished the entire Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter itself.
Mm.
So second chapter has got 72 slokas. So in the second chapter, sloka number 53, in that Krishna finished giving instruction to Arjuna. Then from the sloka number 54, Arjuna asked the question. He started asking questions. Sita pragnasya kabasa samadhistasya kesava sitati kim prabhaseta kimma sita vrajeta kim. So then he continued asking questions after Krishna explains. One question Arjuna asks in one sloka, Krishna takes 20 slokas, 30 slokas, 40 slokas to answer that question. Then Arjuna asks another question. So the entire Bhagavad Gita is only questions and answers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you study Bhagavad Gita fully, that is the main thing. Then if you have time, then you can read anything else.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
Another question about Dvaita, Advaita, and all such things. Because Bhagavad Gita, that even recently another person asked me that question. In Bhagavad Gita, it is not discussed at all. So as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, I understand Dvaita and Advaita as worshipping as a God as a person or not a person, correct?
Yeah.
So that is discussed in the 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. Arjuna asks a question to Krishna that evam satata yuktaye bhaktastvam pariyupasate echapi aksaram avvyaktam tesam ke yoga vittamaga. So who is the best? Consider the best. One who worships you as a person, or one who worships you as a imperson, like avyaktam. Yeah. Unmanifested person.
Yeah.
So that is based upon his Viswarupa. That is based upon the previous chapter, 11th chapter was Viswarupa, universal form. So everything is a part of Bhagavad Gita. So if we study Bhagavad Gita fully, everything is very clear for us. That's why I strongly, sincerely request all of you. In fact, I thank you all for joining. In fact, I should also thank Timir Prabhu, who put this effort to basically this presentation. He was the one. He is Dr. Timir. He recently finished his PhD from UIUC. So I myself, I don't know if you all of you know that I am also working here. I'm in US only. So we are able to do this only by knowing this Bhagavad Gita. Now there are many people are in contact with me. So we will be able to really form a very strong, powerful team of devotees. We can bring a lot of goodness, because the Bhagavad Gita says, Krishna says that we should do a lot of good things to the society. That is the only thing.
Yes.
What is going to happen? We are going to lose our selfishness when we get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So then, Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. That's what Krishna says very often in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha means for the welfare of all other beings. That is the main thing.
Yeah.
So thanks for your
very nice. Where do you live in US?
I live in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, where are you from?
I am from Anna University. I'm a retired professor from Anna University.
Oh, very nice. Gindi Engineering College.
Gindi Engineering College.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Thank you for
that. In fact, I got this from, we have a WhatsApp group, Anna University Retired Professors Group. There somebody had put this and then I registered. Yeah,
I know. Okay, Professor Shankar is there. That's very nice.
I see. Professor Shankar, is it? Okay. Yeah.
So which department you work?
I was working in Center for Environmental Studies, Dr. Pichai's department.
Nice. I was in IIT Madras. I did my PhD. I don't know if you know Professor R. Natarajan. He was the director at that time. He was
He's from our place. He's from Mysore.
Bangalore. He's in Bangalore now.
In fact, I met him in Golden Jubilee celebration on the of IIT.
Okay, yeah. He's my PhD advisor.
Oh, I see. Because he and Professor Kolar, they gave they have brought out a book on IIT Madras. So I met him in that function. Yeah,
Yeah,
good,
Professor
very
P.
nice.
Sundararajan and Professor R. Natarajan, I studied PhD.
Oh, very nice, very nice. So from tomorrow I will bother you every day.
Please join. Nice.
Yeah.
And you, do I have your phone number, or you already have it given it?
I have already sent you a WhatsApp and I have joined the group.
Okay, good. Yeah, if you join, that
Yeah.
will be.
And today's presentation you will be sharing in your group.
I will share. I will get your email address. Then I will email it to you.
Yeah, I will send you my email.
Yeah, your email address you send me in the WhatsApp. I will email it to you.
Yeah. Very nice to us.
Thank you.
Very nice presentation.
We'll keep communicating every day.
Sure.
I can do much more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
And
Professor.
Dr. Thank you. And Dr. Uma Maheshwari, you are from which place? Where are you from?
I am from Madras University. I am a doctorate in criminology, and I am a senior training faculty for the Clinics of Police.
Okay, very nice. So you are right now you are a faculty in the police department or in the Madras University?
In the police department. Actually, it's a Friends of Police, actually. But I also train police officers.
Very nice. So yeah, thanks for joining. I think this kind of knowledge will definitely help you a lot, even in what you are doing right now.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And maybe let me unmute. I'm trying to unmute you. If you are able to unmute, okay. Now, Ramachandran. Yes.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. In fact, for me, it is middle of the night. Anyway, thank you.
Sorry for that.
No problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was looking for some classes regarding Bhagavad Gita recently, but it was very nice today. I have spent very excellent time with you. I am a past life regression therapist from Salem, Tamil Nadu.
Oh, what therapist you said?
Past life regression therapist.
Okay. In Salem.
Yes, we will guide the clients to the past lives, to the affected time.
Okay.
When they re-experience that memories, the present life problems will get released. Like
very interesting. Okay.
So that I have been very interested in the path of soul.
Yeah.
Yes. So nowadays I am searching for this Bhagavad Gita classes, and I have experienced very nice today. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining. I think this is so much of science. This Bhagavad Gita is full of science. So that's how I approach it. And if you continue and understand this fully, I think definitely it will be very helpful for your profession also, and we will be able to do much more.
Yes, sure. This education we have lost very much in the past 2-3 decades, right?
Yeah.
So we have to do something for the society. You are doing a very nice job. Thank you.
Thank you. How did you know about this from Facebook ad, or how did you know about this?
Yes, from Facebook ad.
Oh, very nice.
And I have been joined in the group also.
Yeah, you are in the group already. Okay, that's very nice. So that way, if you are able to join every day in this class, if you understand it fully, then it's going to definitely help in your very
Yes, I will sure. I'll just make a poster in my room.
Yeah.
So I will do that. I will join.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And one Gerlin Emilia, you are able to hear me. I'm not seeing the speaker in your phone, but I don't know if maybe you are watching a laptop or something. Are you able to hear me? Surendra Babu, I'm not able to unmute you. Can you unmute yourself, Surendra Babu, Mr. Surendra Babu? Professor Shankar, you are able to unmute yourself?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, please do it again. When I try, you try. So that's why. Can you unmute?
I unmuted, Professor.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Surendra. Yeah. So you could understand everything today clearly, Mr. Surendra.
Yeah, I am Surendra Babu. Yeah, it was very nice. And my request is, will you be uploading this in the YouTube also, so that at a later date, if you want, we can see.
Yeah, I will upload it immediately and share. If you are you already in that WhatsApp group?
Yeah, I'm already in the WhatsApp group.
Okay. So then I will upload it, and I will ask Timmy to upload it and immediately share it with you. So they
Yeah, even share that PowerPoint presentation for the
yes.
group
That
members in
also
WhatsApp.
maybe if you can.
Yeah, if you can share, no, you can share it in PDF form in the group. So whoever is member.
Oh, okay. I can
That'll
make
be
it as
easy.
PDF and share it. Okay, that's correct.
Yeah, that'll be easy.
I was thinking how to share it the PowerPoint. So that's
No,
why I was
no,
telling that I will send by email, but
no.
I will share a PDF copy. No problem.
PDF and share it so that all the members can easily download it.
Yes. I will do that. I will make it as a PDF and then share it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So you are from where? Which place?
I'm from Chennai, Dr. Uma Maheshwari's husband.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
So I am an alumni of CEG, College of Engineering, Gindi.
Oh, very nice. So you also got it from.
Now, one of my classmates sent me the link.
Okay. Yeah, Professor
I
Shankar.
passed out in 1980, 75-80 batch, mechanical.
Oh, 1980. 80. Okay,
75 to 80. Those days it was 5 years.
Yeah. So mechanical, you did it in
Mechanical.
Oh, okay. So I'm also mechanical engineering only, but I'm maybe 85 to 89. I did it 4 years page.
Yeah.
I know when I was the first or second 4 years page. Before, when I was studying my first year, there was 5-year based students were there, 5th year students.
Yeah. Only in 82 or 83 joined persons had that 4-year course.
That is correct. That's why when I was in first year, we got 2 final year sets.
4-year
sets and 5-year sets.
5-year batch, both graduating same.
Both were there. Yes. 2 final years. So, what are you doing? Where you are working?
No, I worked in private corporate auto ancillary units.
Okay.
Now I am retired.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. So I did